Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another review. There's another paid request for James, who had wanted me to review not just the first, but also the second Babe, this time Babe Pig in the City, from 1998. Now, for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of reviews, topics, reactions, commentaries, lists, rankings, re-reviews, pretty much anything, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And, yeah, this is a film that it was a big box office bomb. I guess I thought it was much more beloved and much more critically acclaimed than it was, because it gets like a 5.8 on IMDb, and like Siskel and Ebert really loved it, but there was a lot of critics that just thought, what the fuck? And I can see why. Like, I would not call this a masterpiece or anything, and I would say the first Babe, I think, is a better film than this, because it doesn't quite have the innocence and sweetness of the first one, but at the same time, at least it wasn't just a carbon copy. It did do its own thing. I think it was still entertaining to watch. It was still a nice visually pleasing movie. The way they made the city look, very unique looking city where there's a canal of water in the middle, and total fairy tale storybook fantasy where it's a city, but it's a city comprised of like all the monuments you could think of intermixed into one. Like you look across the city and it's like there's the Statue of Liberty, but then there's the Hollywood sign, and then there's the Twin Towers, and then there's I forget the building in Australia. I forget the what that building's called. But it's all put into one. I think maybe the Eiffel Tower was there, the Eiffel Tower, I believe. I mean, sadly, you don't really get too in-depth into the city. It's mainly in this one hotel that a lot of it takes place in. Because the stories that, which, I don't know, the setup kind of bothered me. Because Babe went through all this in the first film to finally accomplish. And then 5 minutes later, he almost gets James Cromwell killed. Like literally almost gets him killed in a well where all this shit falls on him and he's almost fucking crushed. And so the bank's gonna take the farm because the wife of the farmer is not can't handle everything. So it's like as soon as he gets his purpose, he almost kills the farmer, and the farm's gonna be gone and dead because of his fault. I'm like, well, fuck, man. I don't know why that bothered me. I don't know why. But just they had to think of something. I don't know, it could have been like another animal that screwed up, and then it's his job to fix it. Like, I don't know, it was the duck or something that screwed up, and Babe has to fix it. Because in real life, James Cromwell was like, you almost got me killed, and you fucked up my farm. I'm gonna have some bacon tonight. Bacon cheese sandwich with your name on it. And I'm gonna have some fucking hot dogs. I'm gonna have everything in between. I'm gonna have a fucking pork buffet. I have a bacon burger, and your name's on it. But now that's not the case. Unless some really fucked up person directed it. But this time it's directed by George Miller, which he produced and helped write the first film. And the director and George Miller had a bit of friction on that movie. So I guess that's why George Miller himself directed this. Which I have to wonder, when this film bombed, I'm sure the other guy must have been laughing his ass off going, granted, at the flip side, he didn't really get any work afterward, after Babe, but there probably was a moment where he looked at it and went, ha 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 ha, fuck you, George. Fuck you, George. My film was a hit, yours were a bomb. Eat it. But on the flip side, George Miller got to make film like Mad Max Fury Road, and the other guy in the... I don't know what else he went on to do. But anyway, George Miller, yes, director of the Mad Max movies, he directed this one. And the farmer's wife takes Babe. They go into the city to try to find a way to save the farm. Yeah, this airport security sniffer, which is a beagle dog. it starts barking because it wants to impress Babe or what it can do. And like the dog doesn't know why he needs to bark. It's just as long as I sniff something, and if I bark, I get a big reward. See how it happens? But then what they do is and this is where it gets a bit of the more wanty humor in the film, where this this farmer wife gets pretty much strip searched and, you know, Moon River up her keyhole. They go into the city, like it's this very unique city, and it's this hotel with this lady owns it. But the lady that owns it, she has all these animals that are in there. You have these chimpanzees that have clothes on. One's voiced by, I think, I forgot her name. I think it's the lady from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, who has a bit of a love story with uh, Bob Hoskins. I think she was also in Dick Tracy. I could be... No, that's two different people. What am I talking about? That's two different people. It's not. It's the one from Dick Tracy, not Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'm sorry. The one with Dick Tracy, the lady who was with Glenne Headly. I can never remember her name. Roger Rabbit, that was wrong. Dick Tracy is the one I'm thinking of. And the other is voiced by Stephen Wright. Which I love Stephen Wright. I love his stand-up. Just that deadpan, that little soft delivery. I like a lot. I like a lot of his jokes, but now I can't think of him offhand in his stand-up. But it just I did very fun stand-up. I loved his stand-up special. I believe you can find it on YouTube. But anyway, so all these different animals. Once again, you have the singing mice. That's sort of the chorus throughout the film with the different chapters. At one point, they hear more singing, and it's a choir of cats. So, of course, they get scared. I will say that's one of the bonuses of this movie is the creativity. There's a decent amount of creativity involved, and it's a nice visual feat of effects. Once again, how they showcase the animals. A lot better than in Doolittle with Robert Downey Jr. that had 10 times the budget this had. Well, maybe not 10 times, because this was a bigger budget. Because I think this was like 90 million, which is quite a bit. So I'll take at least twice the budget. Not 10 times. But this still looks better than what Robert Downey Jr.'s Doolittle film did. Which is sad if you think about it, because with all that time, from 1998 to, what was it, 2020 when that came out? Or something, and that's the best they could do? Go fucking figure. But there's definitely a lot of weird stuff in the movie. Mickey Rooney as this creepy clown that I don't even know if he has any dialogue, and he's with the chimps and they find Babe because one of them stole the farmer wife's suitcase. And, okay, we'll make you a deal, the chimps say, be part of our show. And so Mickey Rooney's doing this show for kids, and the reveal is Babe as a platter of food. He has to stand there and not move. And then this fire opens up. You have a dog that almost drowns, and he saves the dog from drowning. You have homeless animals. One going, my human tied me up in a bag and put me in the river. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, and this is like a little puppy saying this. I had a human who tied me up in a bag and he dropped me in the river. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And like a little kid going, I'm hungry. I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, this is fucking depressing. And I think that kind of darkness, it was interesting to me because it was different from the first, and they just didn't want to do the same thing, and I can appreciate that. But I just see why some people are like, what the fuck? You know, that kind of reaction. But it was cool to see all the different kinds of animals. I didn't like the dog that was chasing him because he was a guard dog, and then when Babe saves him, he now becomes Babe's bodyguard. And he sounds like he's from New York or something, like he's in a mafia movie. Whatever the pig says, goes. And like all the different other like the kittens and the cats, like, and like you have this one monkey. He's not a chimpanzee. He's a different monkey. I forget what kind of species that monkey was. I think it was the type of monkey you would see. Remember Raiders of the Lost Ark, who had that did the thing and bad dates, succumb to that. I think it was that type of monkey. I don't know if it's a spider monkey I don't know the term of it. And apparently God himself didn't like that because now he took away the light. Okay? Maybe it's not a spider monkey. Is it a different kind of monkey? Or maybe it's because he's... Sorry, I thought of Nazis in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He doesn't like that. It's like that scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark when you have the Nazi symbol on the crate and it burned a hole. He did not like that. So can I get some more light? There you go, a little bit. So I was saying, it's cool that you get to see a different variety of animals, not just the same ones, and different settings. So it makes it its own movie and not just a carbon copy, and I do appreciate that. And the change of location makes it a bit more refreshing. The voice by Babe, it's not the same, but I thought the voice actor still did a pretty good. Like I would not have been able to tell that well if I wasn't told. So I actually thought did fairly decent job. I don't know why Mickey Rooney's in there. It's just weird that he's in like a few scenes and I didn't like no dialogue. But whatever. His character seemed just creepy to me. I don't know. But anyway, the animals get caught. Babe, Ferdinand the duck is there. The one monkey, and that was interesting about that monkey is that he's like the only one that doesn't actually talk. He's the one, he's the only one that doesn't actually speak any English that we hear. So that was cool, just it made it a little bit different. And then you have this one dog that has this little wheelchair on him. They go rescue the animals, and it's during this charity ball. And then that's where you get a lot of this zaniness, where it try to be, I guess, a bigger action ending where this chase happens. And I don't know about this ending because, like, the farmer's wife, James Cromwell is definitely missed. He's only in, like, the beginning of the film and at the very end of the film. I thought he had a certain... He didn't have a lot of dialogue, but his presence had a certain bit of credence and compassion. The farmer's wife, the actress was fine, but I just did not care about her character as much. It was just pretty much her having bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. Gets strip searched, gets her stuff stolen, gets stuff landed on her head, gets put into jail, trying to find the pig. But then the whole ending, like, is around her. With these big suspenders bouncing off the wall, bouncing off to the left, bouncing off to the right, during this big ballroom. And I'm like, your big finale isn't really with the animals, it's with her and these other humans just doing this zany live-action cartoon bounce off the wall spiel. And I don't know, just... As simple as it was at the first film, at least it's centered on the title characters. Here it's almost... But you forget about like, for, I don't know, the next 5 minutes or so, forget about the animal characters. It's just, like, her movie now. As, like, the big pivotal point of the movie. As her rescuing Babe as well as this orangutan. And I don't know, I just, can I have some light again? Thank you. Just something about it, I don't know if just the zaniness, the lootiness, the something about it. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. I would say it's probably one of the lesser moments for me in the movie. I'm like, this seems a bit much, even for this movie. But even that said, if it was something even more ridiculous, like it was one of the animals, like whether the duck or something in that bungee thing, and that'd be even more crazy, but that would at least fit in terms of still being consistent about the animals themselves. But I mean, it all works out for the best. So again, I still liked it. I appreciated its creativity. I still enjoyed its visual aspects. The voices I thought worked fine. It was a different change of pace in terms of setting. Although again, I don't think it utilized the city as much because we see the outskirts of the city, but there's not a whole lot of the inner workings of the city. The bits you see is when the farmer lady is walking around and a couple stuff happens to her. As I said, most of it takes place in this one hotel. And I don't know, it doesn't have the sweet innocence of the first film, and that's a little bit lacking. So that's why I think the first film is better. But this one, I don't think it was as bad as some people made it out to be either. It's a little bit darker, but it's not like, I don't know. I would say Return to Oz was probably darker than this. I would say, the Dark Crystal is darker than this, so I don't think it's that dark. But I mean, again, when you have homeless animals and you have a dog that almost drowns and some of this other stuff, I guess if they're expecting a copy of the first Babe, maybe some people get caught off. But again, I do appreciate what George Miller was trying to do. It's not a film I rewatch a lot, but I think it was a decent enough sequel. I do think it was a decent enough sequel. I thought at the end of the day, it still worked out fine. So, the music, I remember the music in the first film being a bit better. I don't know why. Maybe because the first one had a bit more of that whimsical music that, because of a different set, I guess, was a little bit lost in this one. But overall, yeah, didn't mind the film. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.